Alright, everyone. I am here to give you my review of WWE 24. Um, and if you don't know what it is, it's pretty much looking back at the backstage of, what went on backstage of WrestleMania 30, like behind the scenes. And that's what's going to be in the title down below. I know I kind of did a shitty job explaining it, but, whatever. Um, I actually forgot to watch this last night because I forgot it was on, and I went to bed. So, I kind of forgot that this was on last night. But I have a ton of notes I have here that I took on it, and it pretty much this is the first episode. It was like the premiere episode, so I kind of just didn't went through everything I think that you're going to expect to see throughout this series. So, I think it's kind of too late to be showing this. I think they should have showed this after WrestleMania 30. But I wonder if it took a while to maybe put this all together. I don't really know. But we meet, but, they kind of take us through what happened the day before. It shows The Rock, sending the Saints come out and in. The Undertaker collapsing after his match with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30, which I will get into. And, all the stuff that went on at WrestleMania. And then the press conference. But it showed 24 hours earlier. John Sabre, who is the WWE EVP Special Events. I think he just talked about the special events. And he said that WrestleMania 30 had to be a big event, because WrestleMania 29 was also a big event. And Mitch Landreau, I think that's how you say his name, is the mayor of the city of New Orleans, where WrestleMania was held. And he talked about how it was a big event. Everyone really was looking forward to seeing it. And Jason Robertson is the WWE production designer. And he talked about how they were putting together WrestleMania 30. How they actually were working on this set since October. And they wanted to make sure everything was perfect. Want to make sure everything looked good for WrestleMania. Wants to make it feel like a WrestleMania. And they talked about what last year's WrestleMania set looked like. So they wanted to make this one look even better. And Big Show was talking about how they drew over like 7,000. They drew a lot of towns at WrestleMania 20, but they drew even more this year, and it shows how the company's grown. And a lot of towns that came in and visited. I thought that was awesome. And then it shows him and Sheamus taking a picture with this kid named Conor Michalak. I think that's how you say his last name. And Conor Michalak is a kid that's been battling cancer for 4 years, which is pretty sad. And he was a big WWE fan, though, because when his dad, who is Steve Michalak, was talking, he had like Ryback, like the Ryback like little brawling buddies that they had. He had like a lot of wrestling figures behind him. And Daniel Bryan met him in Pittsburgh, and he found out he was a big Daniel Bryan fan. So Daniel Bryan went and visited him in like 2012, because he was one half of the tag team champions at the time. And he met Daniel Bryan, and he put him in the Yes Lock. He took a picture with them with Daniel Bryan holding a replica tag team belt, and Conor got to hold the real one. And it shows other superstars meeting him, like Rey Mysterio, Stephanie McMahon. And she talked about how when you see this kid, you just want to hold him and hug him. And Daniel Bryan talked about how you have like this special feeling when you see him. And it shows Batista meeting him. Talks about how he would have a match with Daniel Bryan. And he said, well, as long as you don't, hurt him. And he's like, well, you just tell him not to hurt me. And he's like, no. He's like, oh, come on, bud. And yeah. I kind of like that they showed this, because everyone thinks Batista's a jerk, but it really isn't the case, because he's always seemed nice when he was meeting Conor. And who else met him? AJ Lee, and he told her to stop her craziness, and she laughed. John Cena's met him, and he was doing the yes chant with John Cena. Sheamus, Big Show has met him. Rey Mysterio, pretty much probably every superstar has met him, but those are the only ones they've really showed. And they came up with, because Steve, Conor's dad, found out that Conor didn't have long to live. So Stephanie McMahon came up with this idea to invite him to WrestleMania 30. And he talked about how he was so happy that he forgot Conor was sick because he was showing like his personality and stuff. And you know, Conor even has the Daniel Bryan yes armband. So I thought that was awesome. So then it cuts to the Hall of Fame, and it shows everyone getting inducted. Maria Menounos was there, Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. Ultimate Warrior had shown up, and he was talking about how he's looking forward to this. He's happy about this. He's happy to be back in the WWE because he hadn't been there in so long. He was talking with Triple H and Vince McMahon, and Indiana Warrior, who was Ultimate Warrior's daughter, was talking about how one of his daughters was talking about how she was happy to see his dad happy and get into the Hall of Fame and happy to know about his legacy. And Diana Warrior, who is his wife, is happy to see him, get this milestone, get to do this big WrestleMania moment. I thought that was awesome. And it showed a lot of people taking pictures. Mr. T was with me, Gene Oakland, talking about how he has a Hall of Fame win. Showed Jake the Snake Roberts with Diamond Dallas Page, which I think he will get inducted into the Hall of Fame too, DDP, I hope so. It showed Lita with Trish Stratus, talking about how she was one of her best friends, and they took like pictures together. Daniel Bryan took a picture with Kane. I thought that, because they were a tag team, a Team Hell No, but it was kind of cool because they were like hugging each other. John Cena took a picture with Nikki Bella. I thought it was awesome stuff. Triple H, Vince McMahon, and Ultimate Warrior all took a picture together. I thought it was a nice moment. Ultimate Warrior shook hands with Jerry the King Lawler as well. It really showed like the entire Hall of Fame. So then it cuts to the WrestleMania, and remember Triple H's big entrance when he was like the big king with the horns. How he came out with that entrance. He said it came out in 2004, but it was really in 2006 when he faced John Cena at WrestleMania 22 in Chicago. And we found out that these women that were like, like his kind of like queens were with him. And we found out that they were Charlotte, who is now the NXT Women's Champion, Alexa Bliss, and Sasha Banks. They were actually the women, and they were happy to be doing this because they got to really shine. That was their first big WrestleMania. It made them feel like that they were at WrestleMania. And I thought that was cool. I actually didn't even know that they were the queens. Triple H even said it gives them a chance of exposure it gives them a chance to see what it's like to be in the main audience, and I thought that was cool. I actually didn't even know, and Sasha Banks said they could have picked them models, but they picked us, and Ric Flair was happy for his daughter because Charlotte had been going to the events since 2 years old, and now she made it to the big time. I know it kind of jumped ahead because it didn't all happen at once, but I figured I'd just talk about that. So I thought that was awesome. So then we see Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. They were talking the night of the Hall of Fame, and they were talking about how happy it was to have Hulk Hogan come back. This was like his homecoming because he was back where he belonged in the WWE, and he was happy about that. And then they were Hulk Hogan was trying to do the Rock's catchphrase. It doesn't matter what you say. You're trying to cut off the Rock, but it didn't really work out really well for him. And then it showed, that segment of WrestleMania when it was Hogan, Austin, and Rock all together in the same ring. And when Hogan botched and said Silverdome instead of Superdome. Let me make sure I didn't botch it either, though. Yeah, it's a Superdome. And they gave him crap for it, and he was embarrassed, but he thanks them for, saving his ass out there. Shawn Michaels talked about how he was great. That's going to be a moment that it's going to last forever, and they all hugged afterwards. So I thought that was awesome. And then it showed backstage Ultimate Warrior talking to everyone when him and Hulk Hogan finally made up after all those years, because after Hogan talked trash about him in the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior DVD, it showed him meeting Cody Rhodes, Rob Van Dam or OVD. It showed him meeting Tony Chimmel, Batista, and he was happy that he finally got to do this, finally got to have closure, be back in the WWE. Diana talked about how this was like the greatest family vacation they ever had, and it showed him taking a picture with all of his family members, you know. So I thought that was cool. And then Mark Fraser, who is the composer and performer, is talking about how he thought about being able to form the Wyatt family, which consisted of, at the time, Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan's theme song. They thought that was cool. Um, I thought that was cool as myself. And then it shows the match between Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. It does show how they got the caskets out there. It showed them because they slid each casket up on the ramp. I thought that was cool that they showed that. And yeah, it shows that Undertaker backstage hugging Vince McMahon, and he's going out there, and it shows Brock Lesnar conquering the Undertaker's undefeated streak, and he is the one in the one of 21-1. And afterwards it showed some tweets and some articles that people had posted, and I figured I'd go ahead and read them. There was a lot of them, so you're gonna have to bear with me, but I figured I'd write them down and read them off to you. Oh, and I forgot before I'll talk about that after. So, and Miami Herald said the distraught look of fans priceless. Um, the Huffington Post wrote, nothing lives forever, not even the streak of a famously undead, and he writes that in quotes, WWE icon. Grantland.com wrote 75,165 people in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Their silence was deafening. And then there's some tweets here that I'm going to write. Joey Abs 316. I think that's a wrestler, but I'm not sure. Brock Lesnar breaking the streak is the saddest thing that has ever happened in the Superdome. Hashtag thank you, Undertaker. They all end like that, but I'm still going to read them. At Bella's Holic, I think is how you say that Twitter name. I'm not exactly sure, but this person wrote, "This moment breaks my heart. He will always be a legend of WWE. Hashtag thank you, Taker." At Ambrix Links Liz, it's AMBRXLINS. So I think that's how. I don't know how to say that. And this person wrote, "My heart is broken, still in shock, and feel like crying. The streak dies, but the legend survives. He has made a great legacy. Hashtag thank you, Taker." And then at the Chelsea Way says, "Lesnar beat Undertaker on Wrestlemania is one." I forgot to write. I spelled it on, but I forgot to write one. But I can fix that right now. Okay. "One of the greatest tragedies in sports entertainment. Hashtag thank you, Taker." And then at the JC as in 1-1, I think that's how you say it, says, "It feels like my childhood got F5'd 3 times." And then he writes a sad face. And then Ruff Keepsy's journal asks, "Where does the Undertaker go from here?" And Miami Herald says, "Was this Undertaker's last match?" So I'm not really sure about any of this. I felt the same way though as these people tweeted or wrote. It did feel like it was heartbroken that the streak ended, and it was heartbroken. All these questions: will Undertaker ever wrestle again? Where does he go from here? So we're gonna find out all these answers this year. I think we pretty much already know, but we're gonna find it out all this year. That's all my notes though. Most of them consisted of the streak ending. So then they kind of cut to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship situation. Daniel Bryan's talking about how he beat Triple H. He was supportive. It shows him kind of kissing Brie Bella backstage, and Brie Bella and Emma were watching the title match backstage, and it shows the match and how everything played out. Him just the whole match, and it showed the part when Batista did the Batista bomb, and then Orton did the RKO through the table, and then he landed awful on the monitor. I still gotta give Orton credit for continuing the match after that, because that was a pretty. His back got pretty fucked up in that position. But then it shows him winning the title, and he talks about how he was the kid that just broke in and wasn't supposed to be there. How he got this moment because of all the fans supported him. Talked about those 70,000 and they made this possible. And then he sees Conor and says, "You helped out along the way. You're still the man, okay?" And he tells him to keep fighting. And I thought that was great. And then it shows everything that happened at WrestleMania. And that was it. And then afterwards it says, "In memory of Conor." Let me read how to read his name. "In memory of Conor Mitchell-Lack." And he was born in 2005 and died in 2014, which is a tragic thing. But I thought this was great stuff. I thought this was a great to start off this series. I think they just kind of wanted to show you everything at once. And I think next week, or whenever they show this again, they will go more in depth into this. I thought it was great though. I'm not sure what they're going to show, but I'm just looking forward to watching this series because I can't wait to see it. So I thought it was great stuff. I thought this was great. I liked watch. I really think this is worth your time to watch if you haven't seen it yet, because it's still on the network. If you haven't seen it, this is a reason to subscribe to the network is to watch this. I suggest you probably watch WrestleMania 30 first, just so you can, pretty much. Then you can watch how it all came about. So yeah, I can't wait to watch this series. This was a nice introduction to the series, and I can't wait especially to see the episode with Undertaker's streak, and how it all came about. But that's pretty much it, guys. I thought this was great. This is like a roller coaster. It makes you feel emotional, seeing Conor, seeing Taker's streak end, but it's also a nice sit through to watch to see Bryan rise to the top, how WrestleMania 30 came to be. So I thought this was great stuff. So that's pretty much it, guys. I still have the snowstorm going on, so I'm still not sure how often I can post videos. But we will see. But that's pretty much it, guys. See you later. Oh, and subscribe. Click right here to subscribe. I forgot to mention that, but see you later.